what we've seen is anyone trying to get a passport as we reopen post-COVID, it's been a disaster. People waiting literally hours and hours online to even get an appointment to go get your passport approved. In the past, you could normally send in for a passport, expect to get it in 8 to 12 weeks. If you were really expedited, you could pay some additional money, get it in 2 to 4 weeks. All of those timelines have dramatically been extended. And let me say, the passport workers are working their tail off. I mean, they are working during the day, they're working at night, they're coming in on weekends. But with these delays, it really is a result of a perfect storm. During COVID, the couple of years that we had COVID, people didn't travel internationally. And families didn't go ahead and get a new passport for their new child. So you've got this pent-up demand all surging at once this summer. To give you an example, the passport office nationally used to process new and replacement passports about 22 million a year. It dropped to 11 million during COVID. This year, it will go up to over 25 million. So a 15 to 20% increase over the previous highs. That has just kind of collapsed the system. Now, my office, and you shouldn't have to go to your senator to get a passport, but my office has got a 95% success rate on helping Virginians get their passports. And so my advice is threefold. One, if you're planning international travel, especially if it's going to be still this summer and you don't have your passports, it's going to be really tough to get it done because we've reached the peak of the season, but there's still, we had a record number of folks, for example, the other day at the Washington Passport Office. Two, we need to get back to a state where those timelines of 10 to 12 weeks for traditional process, 2 to 4 weeks for expedited, will come back to reality. That will hit probably into this year, beginning of next. But it's not going to happen overnight. And in the interim, what's been happening is you have to call to literally get an appointment. And we have pushed the passport office. They've made some progress that the call centers need to be able to surge. We can't hire more people overnight in the passport office because they have to have security clearances. But the actual surgeability of the call centers, after my meeting, they did extend call center hours on Saturday and a little bit later into the evening, but I want that call center to dramatically surge. You don't have to get a classification number or a classified security clearance to be at the call center. That center needs to step up. And then finally, there was an online renewal process that the passport agency tried as a temporary system. They're going to go back, fix the bugs on that online starting the beginning of the calendar year. So relief is on the way. In the short term, we have given a little bit more relief in terms of the call center so you can get your appointment scheduled, because what's happening is, whereas you used to be able to walk in without an appointment, now people are literally being forced to travel 2 or 3 time zones to get an emergency passport at the last minute, sending huge costs to a family, particularly if they, not only if they need to want to travel internationally, but if they need to see a loved one that may be dying in another country. So we've still got some challenge here. Please, if you're traveling, make sure you check your passports. The number of people who end up calling our office, 2 days before they're leaving, realizing they haven't checked their passport. We got a 95% hit rate, but we can't absorb literally all of the calls alone. We've seen 51% of our casework now just be about passports. So I think we made some progress, but please, we need the engagement of Virginians to make sure this happens.